My name is Angie Morenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's 2025. Oh, Happy New Year. I hope you're having a great time wherever you are. And I hope that the year has started well. Some of you are having like, oh my God, we're going back to work. In a few, you've had a great time, a great holiday. I hope you haven't had a holiday that you need a holiday from. But whatever it is, I just pray that you enter 2025 full of God's presence and glory, and you're just going to have a great time. Today I have a guest. He's been here before, but it must be so many years before it's a while, I think. But I'm so grateful because remember, I always tell you, oh, we have to have you back. Mm-hmm. I feel like we don't exhaust the stories of our guests. So I'm really grateful that he's back, and then we'll see where we'll pick it up from. He's a man I honor very much, and I love what he does. And I'm going to allow him to introduce himself to you, and then we're going to have a conversation. Karibu sana, Steve.
Happy New Year and welcome to an exciting year. My name is Steve G. I'm a clarity coach. What I do is I help people find themselves in this chaos that we call life. So I help people think through business, I help people think through life, and also in some spaces also help think through the parenting journey.
Wow. So that's amazing, yeah, because it's business coaching,
yes,
there's life, yes, and then there's the parenting journey. Side. And then now, first of all, you said something to me. I was like, Steve, sometimes you told me if we do coaching, we're going to walking.
Yes.
We walk coach. So how am I going to write what I want to write down if I am walking coaching?
So I began Inspired Trails, where the conversation is held on a walk. We'll either do Karura or Arboretum. Because I realize sometimes when you're thinking about life, you need to be in a space that gives you that inspiration.
Wow.
And getting you to think through some aspects of where you're at, where you want to be, and what are the things you need to do between here and there. So I realized the trails give people a bit more a place to breathe. And in that space, then now we're able to find that clarity they're looking for.
And I think when you're relaxed, when you're thinking about it, because when you're in that, it's like a relaxed environment.
Yes.
Maybe when you let your guard down, you sort of relax. So when you relax, you can say much more, maybe, than maybe what you not have said if you were sitting in an office.
Yes. And then you also find yourself, if there are moments where you need to pause, think, pray, process. In the forest, you're able to just sit down under a tree, take your 5 minutes to reflect. Doing that in a restaurant or in an office setting doesn't give you the same kind of depth in what you're thinking.
That's amazing. Okay, so so recently I remember we invited you to church to do for us a business model canvas, because I run a marketplace ministry and a marketplace church.
Yes.
So I like things that are speaking to us practically in the marketplace. But what I love about your business model canvas, but you'll take us through it a bit, is I remember the first time we did it, which is the first time you were here. We were running a program called Ezesha.
Yes.
But the whole idea, what the outcome of your particular, I don't know whether it's all of them, that's what you do it, but for us, is we want to find out whether our business is a business or it's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
And that one always shocked me. I'm like, what do you mean? How can my business be a hobby? But then you made it make sense. So I don't know whether you want to take us through that.
So the business model canvas is a tool that's available. And what we do is we help you contextualize it.
Okay.
And the one we specifically use for this is the lean business model.
Okay.
What we try and do is take our clients, our coaches, through 9 questions that the business model asks you. What it tries to do is, many of us are in business and you're out there, you're passionate, you're spending time, you're investing. But at the end of the day, if we sit down and do your figures,
my maths,
your maths, they're not mathing.
They're not mathing.
They're not coming together. And what we find is there are very many of us who are passionate about what you're doing, but it's not making business sense.
So it's not a business.
It's not a business, and that's what we call a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's okay, keep doing it, but to convert it to a business, there are a few questions you need to ask yourself. Okay. And what the canvas does is primarily asks, do you understand who your customers are? Yeah. Then build on that, what are the problems? Because we say all businesses that exist, you must be solving a problem from the client's perspective.
Yeah, not from your perspective.
Not from your perspective.
Which is it's interesting, because it's not from your perspective. No. It's from the client's perspective.
So you almost need to put yourself in the shoes of the client.
Yes.
And ask, what is this pain point that they need a solution to?
Yes, and then now you're that solution.
And then now your product or service becomes that solution.
Yeah, because there's something you always ask. It's always a trick question, and I'm never ready for it. You asked it at Ezesha, even this time I was like, honestly, Steve, like you asked us, I don't know, like what is Java selling?
Yes, so again, when you think of most businesses, we tend to think of the product you're selling. So I'm selling water.
Or
Okay,
coffee.
or coffee.
And
or-
refreshment.
But
But
then-
shock to us that that's not what they're selling.
So for a place like Java, which is an example we use because it's local,
Yes.
the question is, when you think of most clients who go to Java, what are they going to do?
Space.
And
They're going to have meetings.
They're going to have meetings.
Yeah.
But
So they actually Java is in the, they might be shocked, but they're in the business of selling space.
they're in the business of selling space. And
Can you
the
imagine?
people who sell space,
And they're not a real estate company,
they're not built as a real estate company, but their business model is space.
because that's what the client wants.
That's what the client
If I
wants.
approach it from what the client wants, it was not coffee and tea.
Yes.
It is, I need a space to meet. So you feel peaceful, you meet there, you have your coffee and your tea, they're there, and you can have lunch and everything. But the whole idea is you needed somewhere to meet.
And now when you think of it from that context, you realize that Java's biggest competitor and is giving competition to people who are in the offering co-working space. Because at the end of the day, if I need a place to
Yes,
work,
yes,
I'll either go
yes.
to Java or I'll go and
To the
lease a
co-working space.
But when you think of it from the product perspective, you might
That's
not
not
be
what.
thinking of them
No.
being in
Then they are
competition.
selling products. They have SKUs. They have SKUs
Yes.
of what they are selling, isn't
Yes.
it? But now, from the customer's point of view, what is actually being sold here? I love it.
And that's what, if many of us as businesses just take a step back
And look at
reflect-
our
and look at
businesses like that.
from the customer's perspective.
From the customer, me, that's from the customer, not your perspective,
Not your
the
perspective.
customer's perspective. So we almost have to go out there maybe and interrogate our customers.
Yes.
Is this? So do sort of like, if it's a focus group, with the customer, so that they tell you what it is that they're looking for.
And you can do that from that perspective, but also there is what we call customer experience, where you sit down and create a journey. Because we say, as a business, you start thinking of your customer from before they think of you as a solution.
Okay.
So what are they thinking at that point?
Yeah.
What is this pain point they're having? And then you create a journey from when they think of a solution, how do they get to find you? When they find you, how do they get to interact with you? How do you deliver your product or service? And then when they exit, what kind of aftercare experience? So instead of customer service, you start thinking of customer experience. And now that becomes a whole journey.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. How long have you been doing this?
I have working with small businesses maybe about, I'd say about 14 years.
Okay.
But I've also grown. I had a coach, I had a mentor who helped me find myself, which is how I'm able to then do this for others. But now building conversations around business modeling, being customer centric, building a customer journey, maybe about the last 7 years.
So there's been
close to a decade.
transitions now.
Yes.
There've been transitions even in your growth, in what you deliver.
Yes.
Wow. And what would you want us to know? Because there's so much I know about you. I don't know where to start. So I want you now to drive the conversation.
So at a personal level, one thing, again, there are many one things. The journey of an entrepreneur can be lonely.
Yes.
And it can be painful.
Yes.
So I try and get people to start thinking of being collaborative. How do we work together?
Okay.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
So how is your business aligned to an ecosystem? And then how does this ecosystem build each other? And it's something we see other communities do, other faiths do, but we haven't well developed within the
Christian community.
Christian community space, where we collaborate better, we partner,
Partners,
and then
you say
we
partner.
grow together. Okay. So that's the first thing. Find a resource group that you can work with and grow with. And you don't have to be in the same industry, you don't have to be in the same
No,
sector.
no.
And then within that space, also learn that it's okay for somebody to be growing faster than you are.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's why we don't succeed, is because now we start seeing somebody's growing faster. We don't all have to go at the same pace.
Yes. Because one of the Bible principles I love is the seed principle. When God gives you a seed, He doesn't tell you what seed it is.
Wow.
So you might be planting
year.
a year crop, I might be planting a 10-year crop. But I spend the next 10 years looking at your seed
Imagine.
and the harvest,
Yeah.
questioning the seed I was given.
That's no. Steve. Now we are going to finish us. Nikki, what is it? That you have to say that again. Because as you are saying that again, you see, if I have a maize seed
Yes.
and I grow a maize plant and I have an acorn or an oak, yeah, and I'm growing an oak, those two things cannot grow at the same
They're
time.
not growing at the same time. They're not
And they
growing
cannot
at the
produce
same.
the same thing.
Yes.
But you have to say what you just said again.
Uh,
I spend time here.
So we spend time. God has given each of us a seed. Yeah.
And we don't know what seed.
You don't know what seed you've been given.
Steve, you're
So
going to mess
somebody
up our
else-
thinking.
Somebody has been given a year-long seed.
Cha, cha, cha,
and I have
cha,
a
cha,
10-year
cha, cha,
seed.
cha. Then I'm comparing.
So you're comparing crop, but you forget that the seed is different.
Oh my God. And God is the seed. Even the
He's the
scripture
seed
says,
giver.
I give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Okay, I can't. Okay.
And then within
All
the
right.
same context, there's seed, there's time,
Eh?
but it doesn't tell you what time is because your context is different, and then there's harvest.
So we can't compare.
We can't compare.
Be happy with everybody's journey around you.
Yes.
You do you.
And that's where collaboration
Wow.
and working together comes in for me. I've seen it among a group of friends. I've seen it among my mentors. It allows us to grow together because while I'm waiting for my 10-year crop, there are other things I'll be doing on the side that help me put food on the table for today. So that's first. Secondly,
Wow.
the other thing I'm learning, and I've learned over the last maybe 5 years, is, let me call it self-care, which is where my
You're
journey,
running.
my journey of trails and hikes and mountains and running has come in, because we tend to do too much to a point where you're burning yourself out,
Yeah.
and you can't give.
Yeah.
Another principle I've learned from my journey is you can't give from an empty vessel.
Can't.
So how are you replenishing yourself?
How are you feeling
What are you
yourself?
doing to feel your soul, your energies, your mind, your spirit? For me, what I found was the outdoors does that for me, which is how I also incorporated inspired trails to the coaching model. So I look for trails, I look for summits, I pursue those intentionally, and it's allowed me to be able to come back refreshed. And sometimes, in those quiet moments is where now God speaks.
Yeah.
And that clarity that we are talking about, I find my moments there.
So when you're hiking, you run.
I hike. So I try, I'm on a quest of summits. I've just come planning to go up Kilimanjaro in a few weeks at the end of January.
We shall pray for you.
And then also do a few marathons. I do maybe, let me say about 4 half marathons in a year, and at least 10 other community runs through the year.
We're already tired. We're tired, just as we're tired, but we'll pray for you.
Thank you.
4 half marathons and 10 community runs, and you're still hiking.
And Mount Kenya every year, and I want to add.
You do Mount Kenya every year?
Yes.
For how long?
So far I've done about 4 times. I'm working on my 5th when I come back from Mount Kilimanjaro.
We shall say thank you, Jesus. But it's good because we also had Pastor Flavia here who was on the Caleb Challenge. But there's something, I guess, about going up the mountain. There's something about achieving. There's something about doing something with your body that's going beyond. Because her lesson was great, GRIT. So it's a way of self-care, a way to replenish, a place where you can also hear God.
Yes.
Yeah, you and God can commune.
And I'm also finding there are people who are looking for opportunities to do that, and they want to do it almost as a personal journey. So I'm also curating that for individuals.
So people can go as a personal journey.
You up Mount Kenya will take about 4 or 5 days. You've got enough time to think, reflect, and we've got some questions for you to process. And now we want to add the other summits around East Africa to that.
Like we said, but we're very proud of you. That's
Thank
really
you.
good, I think, because people, and I'm almost feeling like it's almost even an alone space, isn't it? Because you can't, no matter how, because I think as a people, we like to do things together. This one now, even if you're together, you're almost alone, isn't it? Because it's your journey, it's your mind. You have to put your spirit behind it. You have to walk up the mountain.
And also what it does is the preparation to itself is a journey.
Wow.
Because you don't wake up and go up the mountain.
Up the mountain.
And it's life.
It's a process.
Same thing when you're talking about the business coaching space. Once you have a clear goal of what you're working towards, then all the steps you need to do between here and there
Become
clearer. And then now you can ask yourself, how do I do this? The resources, which might include networks and friends, the time, which means you have to sacrifice a bit of that. When you get to the summit, then it means other goals in life, both personal, business, corporate, are achievable.
You can do it.
Yes.
Because there's no one who has a mountaintop experience that's not profound. I've not had everybody. And no matter how many times they've summited, it's like every time they summit, there's something profound. Wow, Steve. So anything else you want to tell us? Because now you said you've got 2, just give us 2 points. Yeah?
So there was find community.
There was self-care.
Self-care. But then after that, something that I believe we could do better, especially in our space, is, let me call them legacy conversations.
Okay.
Okay. When I'm asking myself is, at the end of all this, what stories will be told about me? So how do you make sure that there's a story that's told that will outlast you
Wow.
and also outlive you?
Outlast you, outlive you. Okay.
Outlast you means that I was there, I did an engagement, and I left. So think of yourself, if those of us who are in corporate, you worked in organization A, when you're in organization C, what do they talk about in organization A about the time you were there? Yeah. So for me, what I do, and a bit of within that space, is building conversations for micro businesses. Here we're talking about small businesses at Mama Mboga level. There's a conversation we're having with a community of boda boda riders, where we are asking this: how do you convert this conversation for you from I wake up and go and I'm a rider to I'm doing a business as a boda boda rider?
Okay.
So that's with one organization
That's
that
good.
we're working with. Then the community of boda boda riders, they're about 30. We're also bringing in their wives, because most of their wives are running small businesses.
Wow.
So
it's a business household.
Yes. So the money I'm making from the boda boda, the money we are making from the business, when we sit down, we can build ourselves as a family and sustain ourselves into the future. We can invest and grow. So when I'm talking about legacy, is when I get into this community, we'll be with them for about a year. Beyond that, when I leave, there are at least 30 to 50 families that are also looking at life differently.
Yes.
They might forget my name,
but they're looking at life differently. They'll never forget
the experience.
The experience. And you know, for me, one of the most memorable things, I can't remember when that Ezesha time was. I don't know. Do you remember which year it was? But
no.
One of the most memorable things is when you told us a story about how you trained some Mama Mbogas, and they were supposed to save or something.
Yes.
And they saved, and this lady called you one day, like, I have a problem.
Yeah.
What Ibu explained what the her problem was beautiful.
So this is a community in Mukuru Kojenga, in Nairobi. And we had done about 5 months of training. Again, business startup training at a level that they're able to
Which is
relate.
Amazing. I find it fantastic that you can train at that level. You can train CEOs. You can come down to Mama Mboga level in Mukuru. I think it's a gift that you have.
So at that level, what we do is we try and get them to think about, how do I get my business to support my family, and get us into sustainability.
Yes.
So this lady, we teach them how to manage their, what you'd call cash flow, their business income. How do you make sure that you've got money left for the business to open tomorrow, enough money to take care of yourself, and what you'd call savings to grow the business in the future? So the lady comes and says, after 4 or 5 months, she's been able to keep her records well. She says the business is doing well. We're in a space where I'm able to restock every day without a problem. I've built my customer experience, my customer relations, so my customers are consistent, and business has grown to a level where we are doing well as a family. Second bucket, so I talk about 3 buckets. Second bucket of expenses, I'm paying myself a good salary. So at home, she was a single mother of 2. Home, we are eating well, the children are going to school. That is okay. So at that point, we wonder, okay, so what's the problem? The business is doing well, at home you're doing well. And she came and said, there's this bucket that we call savings. And at that point, this was January, the year was just beginning. She said she had savings of about 6,000 shillings. So again, we asked, so what's the problem?
So what's the problem? I've never seen 6,000 shillings. Was it the problem? What am I going to do with this 6,000 shillings?
I had not seen that perspective.
Yeah, because she's never saved before.
So she came and said, okay, what do I do with the 6,000? I cannot put it back to business. At home, we are doing okay. And as a coach, being in the coaching space, I allowed that to become a coaching conversation with the other 8 women in the training.
Wow.
And the conversation now went back to, so what are some of the things you do for business? Who's your customer? You remember what we talked about, the business model? And when they discussed, they realized her customers are mainly women, mothers, families going home in the evening. And the vegetables she sells is what they're going to cook. So we asked, what other things would they need? So from that conversation,
Wow.
turned out that she could try diapers and tissue paper.
Yeah.
So buy a bill of diapers, sell one. So as the lady comes and buys her vegetables, she's got a baby at home, she'll buy 2 diapers, she might buy a tissue paper. And with that, she was able now to grow her business and
She was able
expand her
to
business.
scale.
So being
It's
able to
amazing
see
work.
them unlock those
Yeah.
opportunities
Yeah.
at a level where growth and dreams are not, they are not allowed to dream
Yeah.
because of where society
Has
has
placed
placed them.
Yeah.
But now they're seeing possibilities of I can be. And that dream then expands to the children, the children's education, and
The
our
next generation,
community.
yeah. Because that's what I think is, like what you're talking about, the legacy conversation. I think yours will be transformation, that you've transformed people's lives.
True.
You've changed their way of thinking. And what I like about your model is, again, it can work for the very rich, the very poor. We have results. You have, you have results in dealing with the top-notch society, and you have results at the bottom. Sometimes it's very hard for people to bridge that gap. They can address one person in this lineup, but not everybody. But I love that you can come down to Mama Mboga's level and their lives can change.
And I think that's where, like I was saying at the beginning, when God gives you a seed, the seed then allows you to become, again, we think of a seed, it grows into a tree, the tree becomes a nourishing element in the forest. So my work is to bring impact and transformation at whatever level I'm placed in. My passion is, and my desire, my legacy conversations are in at community. But beyond that, it's also helping people, because we found some people come and say, I may not have the passion to go to the community, but we can work together.
And you can go to the community.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying at point number 1, build collaborations, build partnerships that allows you to, there's a video I was watching once and somebody said, there's this one we call resource. And we come and say we don't have the resources to do things. But then what he did for me is he hyphenated it. He said source. So the idea was the source is already there somewhere. It just needs to be resourced. So move it from here to here. And he said that's what now for us in the Christian community we'll be doing. There are those who've been given the opportunity to find the sources, and then now they bring them to community level and be able to impact at that level. So that collaborative nature, I learned that from my mentors and my good friends when I went to Bible school in Australia. I learned that from my mentors when I went through a 9-year coaching program in Kigali. And I see it working, and I've seen it working. Yes.
I really love it. I really love it. Do you have a parting shot to tell everybody there? But we're very proud of you. We'll definitely bring you again, because now we know now you have transitioned into something else. And so let's see how that goes. And also, I think it's going to be part of legacy conversations.
True.
It's going to be important for us to come back and discuss legacy conversations. But you have inspired me. You have motivated me, Steve, very, very, very much. And we have a success story called Dada of Arc. I can't remember how many women. Arc Peanuts. I don't know how many women they were that we trained at Ezesha, but we trained them, and by the grace of God, I think it was me, you, and Pastor Maureen.
Yeah.
And this one woman has really done well. She's gone on to win awards. She moved from selling peanuts after church on Sunday to manufacturing. Yes. I still haven't got to see that. She's now a manufacturer. We even had her on Just Angie.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely amazing. So that's what I love. A conversation with Steve G. Business coaching where we're laughing at each other and whether our businesses were hobbies or businesses has transformed her into running a business, a successful business with manufacturing, employing other people. And I know that your story, there's so many those kind of stories. And before Steve G makes his parting shot, as Just Angie family, you've got to try to do something. This is the start of the year. I'm so grateful even that he's here at the start of the year. You have to do something. You have to take what is in your hand and make it make sense. So you call Steve G, he'll charge you a fee. Have a conversation. Go for that inspirational walking trail. Go and talk and see what you want to do. But let's not get stuck. Let's not get stuck that we don't have what it takes, because I feel like God has packaged each and every one of us with what it takes to do what we need to do. You just need to, and the thing about talking to a coach, they just listen and all the solutions come from you, shock and horror on you. Please, Steve G, party shot here. We're very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Angie, for this. Thank you for the opportunity to again sit and have this conversation. A parting shot for me would be, it's a new year. It's a new opportunity for new beginnings. What are the things that at the end of this year you'll be able to look back and say, I was able to accomplish? So my challenge is, as we step out in business and in profession, what are the 3 things you're going to do and make an impact in society? At a personal life level, what are the things you're going to do for yourself, for your body, for your mind, for your spirit? Come, let's do trails and summits together and a few runs. And then lastly, like I said, for legacy conversations, what is this one thing you're doing that will be a story that will be told about you in years to come? Thank you.
Thank you. God bless. Bye, guys.
Bye.